What's good, Rickon here, and today I want to tell you guys why I don't think you should study abroad. Now, I personally haven't studied abroad, so I am biased in that way, but it seems like there's a lot of push telling people to go out and study abroad, and it seems like that's the big rage. Schools like to talk about it. I remember when I was looking at colleges, every single school liked to talk about how 40% or 30% of their students were studying abroad, and that was a big deal, and how they had study abroad programs all around the world. And then I got to school, and it seems like everyone wanted to study abroad, and everyone was really excited about it. And I met people who told me that this was the best thing they'd ever done in their life. And I call BS on all this. And my big philosophy is on adventure. So you might be going, what, Rickon? But you're always telling us to go on an adventure. You're always telling us to be spontaneous and learn new things. And I'm all about that. And that's exactly why I don't think studying abroad is worth it. So here's what I've learned about study abroad from my friends. They go to a new country, and they spend half the time going to different classes there. And they're probably taking classes that are similar to the class they would be taking here. And then they spend their weekends going out and traveling and seeing different parts. Let's say you're in Europe. Every weekend they might go to a different city and see a different city over the weekend. And to me, I think that's a cool experience, and there's no doubt about that. But I think you're kind of not getting the full experience. So I'm a big believer in don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. I think that's like a Parks and Rec quote. But I'd rather go all in on one thing. So when you're going and studying abroad, you're probably studying at a school that's not as good as the school you already go to. So you're not getting that great of an education. And even if you are going to a great school overseas, you're probably not studying or putting in nearly the amount of effort as you would at your home school. So that's half it, right? You're not getting the quality of education. The second part of it is you're not really getting the travel or the experience that you are getting if you were out there doing it yourself. Because really you're just traveling for 3 days a week. Yes, you get to see this country and you get to live a normal lifestyle, but you're living with other people from your same home country. The only thing I've found for my friends who study abroad is they've learned how to order a beer in a different language. And to me, that isn't that profound or life-changing. You can always go out and do these things. Again, I'm not saying that you should never study abroad or no one should study abroad, but don't sell yourself short or don't oversell what the experience might be. There's lots of ways to get that similar experience for yourself. Personally, I'm a big advocate of go out and instead save that semester, try to maybe cram those classes in different semester, and then take 6 months and actually travel. Or take 3 weeks and actually travel and see a city. Because there's a lot you can learn. And you can do it a lot more affordably than a lot of these study abroad programs. If you actually sit down and do the math, it's a lot more expensive to do a study abroad program. Now, a lot of people will say, yeah, but it only costs just as much as the tuition at my home school. And yeah, you're right. It doesn't cost that much more in that sense. But remember, tuition at your home school is probably really expensive to begin with. There's a reason we have all this college debt. So unless you have a scholarship that's already paying for your school, and I have friends who have had that happen, then maybe it's worth studying abroad because you're not really paying for it. But otherwise, keep in mind there's a lot of these other costs. And the big thing that people don't think about is this thing called opportunity cost. And that's what's really important to me. I think about opportunity cost as one of the really important things. And it's a great term from economics that I lend to my daily life. Because every time you do something, the opportunity cost of that is the thing you're not doing. So if you're going out and watching a movie, that's 3 hours that you're not spending with friends, or that's 3 hours that you're not doing schoolwork, or that's 3 hours that you're not working out. Well, I guess you might not be working 3 hours. I'm definitely not working out 3 hours. But the point is, there's always a trade-off, and people don't realize that there's a cost to this. So when you're studying abroad, that's 6 months that you're not necessarily doing something else, or that's 3 months, especially during the summer study abroad things. That's 3 months that you're not doing something. So for those people who are studying abroad over the summer where they otherwise aren't doing anything, remember, that's 3 months that you could be interning. That's 3 months that you could be starting your own business. That's 3 months that you could be getting ahead in classes. So there's always that cost. Again, if you've never been out of the country and you're kind of afraid to travel on your own, maybe studying abroad is kind of a neat little way of stepping into it. It's kind of a way of wetting your toes without going in on it all by yourself. But for those of you guys who are either stressing out about trying to figure out if you should study abroad or intern over the summer, or if you're worried about never getting a chance to travel on your own, realize that it's not the only chance you'll be able to do so. I don't think it's the end of the world if you don't. And really, I do think for a lot of people, there's a lot of great opportunities back home that you're missing out on that people don't factor in. So there you have it. That's why I don't believe in studying abroad. It's not necessarily the wrong choice for everyone. It's why I didn't study abroad. And in the next few videos, I'll talk about things you can do with that time instead. So if you've got a summer where you're sitting at home, instead of sitting on your ass watching Netflix, we'll talk about the things that you can be doing instead. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I hope you guys learned something. If you guys enjoyed that video, please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.